Okay, so Microsoft released an update a few months ago, back in August, I believe. It's called the Windows 10 Anniversary Update. One of the big uh, release within that update was Windows subsystem, Linux subsystem, where you can actually run Ubuntu Linux directly, natively within Windows. So you don't require a VM machine running, such as VMware, VirtualBox. You don't have to run anything like that. So that's good for if you like developing on the Linux side, but your main machine is a Windows machine. Normally, what I do, I install the VM within Windows, and then I do all my coding within Windows. I'm sorry, within Linux, and then I port over my code and so forth. But now you can just do it directly within Windows, and it's funny because I'm on a Mac, so I have a VM parallels desktop running Windows 10, from OS X. So that should be interesting. All right, so what's required? You have to have at least 1607 version. Windows 10 build 1607. So I'm gonna go into the settings and scroll down to about, and you see I have that already, 1607. It's not the most recent build, but I have at least version 1607. Now, even though you have the update, you don't have that feature. It's not turned on per se, right? So let's turn it on. Let's go to turn on features. Okay, that should load, and we're gonna scroll down. Should be Windows. Where is it? Subsystem for Linux. There we go. Windows Subsystem for Linux Beta. So I'm going ahead and check that off. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to run the install. Requires a restart. So I won't bore you with this step. I'm going to pause the recording, and then once the machine comes back on, I'm going to resume the recording. Alright, I'm back. The machine is back. So once we turn on that feature, we would have to do a second step, and that step is to enable developer mode. So again, go into settings, and this time we're going to go into update and security, and for developers there's an option right here, so it's for developers, and here it is, developer mode. Install any signed app, blah 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 blah. Enable that. Yes, turn it on. Okay. Alright, so once that's installed, we should be able to oh, everything requires a restart, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and give this bad boy a restart. And okay, we're back. So now let's see if we can actually run Linux, right? So let me run this command, get the command prompt. Then we have this simple Microsoft command prompt, right? So now, in order to get into that subsystem, Linux subsystem, we simply type in bash, and that's it. And yes, we want to install it. So for the first time, actually, it will go ahead and download the latest version of Ubuntu. So it's going to download, do its thing, download, install it, and we're good to go. This is a one-time thing, so I'm going to pause it, and when it's back up, we'll come back and we can get going. Alright, so now it's prompted me to enter a username. So this is going to be the kind of like the admin or the root user. Not quite the root user, but this person, this user ID will have basically full access. So Clark, give it a password, confirm the password, and there we go. Let me clear the screen, and there we go. We can see we're actually different. You can actually run Unix Linux commands. Excuse me. So to prove that, let me just type vi, right, I'm gonna create basically a batch file. I'm sorry, a bash file, and then run it from within here. Some bash file, whatever. That's fine. And there we go. So we have vi running. So this is a editor, a Unix editor, Linux editor, what have you. So get into insert mode and then type in the shebang, the required information. Well, those who knows bash scripting, it's not really required because it would default to that, but it's best practice because it can run some other I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's required, the shebang, which we basically call it shebang, and that's it. I could just do an echo echo hello world, and that's pretty much it. Save it, right? Let me do a ls. Where is that? There it is, some bash file, right? And you can see I can't run it right in this minute. Well, I can run it, but I can't run it using as if it was an executable, because there's no execute rights to the file. But I can run it like this though. I can just hit bash, some bash file, and I can run it, and there you go, hello world. But no one really likes to type bash and in order to run the script. So you would just have to change the permissions on it and give them execute permission. So +X would do that, and then some bash file, clear the screen. So now I can just run it like this. Well, since some bash is not in the path that Linux knows, such as the bin directory and what have you, you would have to specify the actual path. So the dot, it actually means that this file is in this path right now, which is jclark, the current directory. So you're running this file and then within the current directory. So that's basically all it means. And it's an executable file, because if you go back and you look at it, some bash for now, read write, yeah, wait a minute, yeah, read write and execute. Okay, so clear the screen. Oops, that was a Windows clear screen. So basically some bash, run that, there you go, hello world. And speaking of clear screens, in Linux you can also create aliases. So let me run the vi, look in my current directory, look for a bash rc, yes, and let me do a search for alias. There we go. Nope, that's not it. There it is right there. Scroll down, and right here we can just create an alias. So in this one I want an alias for CLS, right? Because sometimes within Windows, I'm used to typing CLS and instead of typing clear to clear the screen, right? And in Linux you would have to actually type clear. So I'm gonna say just run this command. When I type CLS, CLS basically means clear. Okay, so save that, and let me just exit out of the bash of the console and then go back in so it can reload that profile. And now if I do a ls la, and then if I type CLS, there you go, it works. So that's how you could create aliases. If you have long long strings of commands, and you have to type on almost on the regular, you can just create an alias and shrink it down to just like a one-liner, if that makes sense. So that's it for that. So basically that's basic right now. So I would create another a video where I'm actually go in here and create a development environment such as a Python, the Django, and we can code with we can set everything up within Linux as far as serving the Python and so forth. But we're gonna develop outside of the, we don't want to develop within, the bash. So we're gonna develop within Windows itself. So we can bring up a text editor within Windows, type in all the code, and Linux is actually going to serve that Python. And so that's pretty cool. So basically, when we're done with the code, you can push it up to GitHub or Heroku, whatever, and you're good to go. So I will create another video, and we can look into that. All right, until the next time. Bye bye.